Tony Beets is a fascinating life story that would captivate anybody interested in the gold rush or unusual people in general. A surprising decision was recently made by the gold mining legend. He is standing down from his position and leaving his family, his enormous money and emotional legacy. Who is the king of gold mines, and what is his plan in light of this decision? Learn the fascinating tale of Tony Beets' adventure. It is an event you should not miss. Despite Tony Beets' decades-long reign as king of the Klondike, his most recent decision, and it's not what you think, has brought his family to tears. Tony Beets isn't your average gold miner. Tony Beets, a name that is well known to those who are interested in the gold rush, was more than simply a gold miner. He was a representation of the defiant, courageous, and tenacious attitude that was responsible for the transformation of the Yukon wilderness into an empire. Having started with nothing more than gold claims, Tony went on to build an amazing career that not only resulted in the accumulation of wealth, but also left behind a profound legacy of perseverance and aspiration. In front of the camera, Tony Beets is an identifiable figure with a booming voice, vivid twists of phrase, and unyielding tenacity. On the other hand, a guy who has spent his whole life constructing something more significant than bank statistics is hiding behind a hard helmet and rough demeanor. He has created a legacy that is as large and daunting as the Klondike that he conquered. Tony's adventure started in a little hamlet in the Netherlands, where he was raised to be able to communicate with people from all over the world. As a young guy, he decided to explore the possibility of making a fortune in Canada, namely in the Yukon, where the gold fields provided a bright future. His triumph, however, was not a fluke. It was the product of many days of hard effort, dangerous judgments, and a spirit of daring that was reminiscent of the Vikings. Tony Beets became an expert in the operation of large dredges, which are enormous and intricate instruments that are utilized in the process of extracting gold from the soil. He not only endured, but also triumphed over the severe winters and difficulties that very few people dared to tackle. Tony's fearlessness and unrelenting will to succeed made him an inspiration to everybody who aspires to accomplish great things despite having nothing to begin with. On the other hand, Tony Beets' tale is not just about his achievements. It is a tale about choices that alter the course of one's life and of fleeting moments at a pivotal crossroads. Amid his extraordinary adventure, he poses a significant question. Is it true that wealth and power are the most important things in life? Or is it more accurate to say that your legacy is about the principles you leave behind? When this happens, Tony's life takes a different path, and everyone's attention is focused on what this legendary figure does next. A fortune isn't just gold and numbers. Not only did the gold rush provide immense wealth in the frigid Yukon, but it also left a lasting impression. But his triumph is a tale of courage and determination, and it also places an unseen weight on the people he cared about. This is a family narrative, and every member has to figure out how to balance the light of their pledge with the shadows cast by Tony's business. Throughout his life, Tony's wife, Minnie Beets, has been an unwavering rock. Not only has Minnie been by Tony's side through thick and thin, but she has also been instrumental in his financial management and spiritual guidance since the beginning of his journey. Minnie has been Tony's loyal companion and has helped him achieve goals that were insurmountable at the time. There is more pressure now than there was before because of all they have accomplished. Monica, Kevin, and Mike, who are the offspring of Tony and Minnie, have spent their whole lives in the public glare as members of a famous gold mining family. They are all attempting to make it in the working world, with some of them carrying on their father's work and legacy, and others fighting to be seen as equals. Monica, the independent and dogged daughter, has demonstrated that she is greater than the title of Tony Beets' daughter. While Monica's rise to fame in the gold mining sector is undoubtedly due to her skill as a miner, the road hasn't been without its bumps. Mike and Kevin are just like everyone else. They have a heavy burden to carry on their legendary family name as the sons of a legendary figure. Mike is more daring, looking for new possibilities to grow the Beets family's influence, while Kevin is great at overseeing gold dredging projects. Will all of this help them emerge from their father's shadow and become their people? More than just money and riches are at play in the Beets family history, a tale about perseverance, love, and the difficulties that come with achievement. While great wealth might open doors, it also brings immense responsibility and demands that most people can't imagine. When Tony's legacy becomes the yardstick by which all decisions are evaluated, how can each member of the family find their voice? While Tony's success has lifted his family out of poverty, it has also placed them in an impossible position. They must now meet the high expectations he has set for them. Every prosperous family wonders the same thing. Are riches and prosperity benefits, or do they also bring unseen bonds that bind family relationships? Tony Beets left behind a significantly more nuanced legacy than a simple gold-based enterprise. Not only did his financial assets endure, but so did his family's memories, hopes, and dreams. Their narrative exemplifies the fact that commonplace love stories, struggles, and the imperfect beauty of family frequently lie beneath seemingly miraculous fortunes. The Beets' Golden Tale. Let's travel back in time to Tony's childhood, when he was living in a peaceful village in the Netherlands. Tony quickly realized that to make changes in his life, he needed to venture outside of his comfort zone. He was raised in an unassuming household. Tony made a courageous choice when he was 18 years old, deciding to leave his hometown, his family, and all that was known to him to pursue chances in a distant country. This decision came at a time when many of his friends were still struggling to find their path. This was not a journey or a choice made on the spur of the moment. Rather, it was a leap of faith that was driven by the hope for a brighter future. In the beginning, life in the new land was not an easy one. Tony did not instantly enter the mining business. Rather, to achieve financial stability, he had to work in a variety of occupations. Tony would not turn down any employment, regardless of whether it was in the construction business or milking cows in the wide fields, as long as it had the potential to assist him ensure his survival. Nevertheless, he quickly concluded that these positions were not the final aim. His genuine passion is in something that is far more expansive and open to adventure. Tony eventually arrived in the country of promise, Canada, where the famed gold mines of the Klondike have always been a symbol of fortune. Tony aimed to become wealthy, and he wanted to overcome hurdles. The images of the courageous gold miners who participated in the Klondike Gold Rush from the previous century, as well as the enchanted tales of fortunes that could be found underground, prompted Tony to take action. Tony traveled to the Yukon, which is sometimes referred to as the last wild frontier, with little more than a bag of baggage but a strong sense of optimism. However, contrary to what he had been told, the Yukon was not an easy or promising region to live in. This was not a location for those who were easily discouraged because of the hard solitude, the rough terrain, and the cold in the winter. Despite this, Tony, with his unyielding will and dogged determination, did not give up. Not only did he agree to take on the task, but he also regarded it as essential to the process of achieving victory. Tony's formative years were spent in the Yukon, where he worked as a machine operator for several different gold mining firms. This was a period in which he educated himself from the bottom up, a gathered experience that was extremely beneficial and established a basis for his future endeavors. Tony, however, did not consider working for another person to be his ultimate ideal. In a short amount of time, he realized that to achieve genuine success, he needed to climb the ladder and become the owner of his gold mine. In the middle of the 1980s, Tony made his first significant investment by purchasing Paradise Hill, which was his very first gold mine. It wasn't merely a transaction involving real estate. Rather, it was a significant event that signaled Tony's transformation from being an employee to a real estate owner. On the other hand, success did not arrive instantly. It was difficult to get started at Paradise Hill because there were numerous obstacles to overcome, such as dealing with extreme weather conditions and handling equipment that was getting on in years. On the other hand, Tony never gave in. Through his diligent efforts, he made investments in the refurbishment of ancient dredges and the expansion of mining rights. Tony was not only successful in mining gold in the Klondike, but he also established a true empire there thanks to his keen mind and dogged determination. From a modest beginning mine, he eventually gained more mining sites, so solidifying his status as one of the most successful miners in the history of the contemporary Yukon. Tony Beets exemplifies the bravery and ingenuity that transformed a man into a symbol of invention and daring in the gold mining business. When Tony acquired Paradise Hill, his first gold mine, in the 1980s, he wasn't content to limit himself to conventional mining techniques. He understood that to progress and achieve his full potential, he had to challenge himself, work harder, and take chances that others shied away from. While some may have seen nothing more than discarded machinery, Tony saw potential. Once the crowning glory of the Klondike Gold Rush, the enormous dredges were now in a state of decay and rust. Tony chose to put money into their restoration because he has a strategic vision and is good at evaluating risks. Completely challenging. Restoring a dredge needs significant knowledge and capital. To boost gold mining production and leave his imprint on the business, Tony revived these vintage dredges. The enormous machinery, which could harvest hundreds of ounces of gold per season, became the foundation of his mining business. By using this route, Tony was able to transform things that first appeared to have no value into assets, a testament to his creative thinking and dogged determination. This is not, however, Tony's alone adventure. Minnie, Tony's wife, has been an unwavering supporter and pillar throughout his life. Not only does Minnie take care of the money and logistics, but she also gives Tony words of encouragement when he needs them. They have a very tight-knit family because all three of their children, Kevin, Monica, and Mike, work in the mining industry. Viewers of Gold Rush see the Beets family's love and solidarity while they experience the trials of mining in each episode. Joining the reality TV show Gold Rush in the middle of the 2000s was a turning point in Tony's life. Tony immediately stood out due to his imposing character, unique Dutch accent, and dogged determination. In addition to following Tony's adventures in gold mining, the show also delves into his family life and philosophical musings. Gold Rush is more than simply a TV program, and that's the intriguing part. Tony may also use this platform to talk about his bravery and the lessons he's learned in business. Season after season, he shows millions of people that everything is possible if you only have to be brave and determined. Tony Beets has made a remarkable transformation from a gold miner into an uplifting tale of overcoming obstacles to achieve one's goals. Tony, who was once a young Dutchman with a few odd jobs under his belt, amassed a gold empire in the brutal Yukon. Even though he amassed considerable wealth for himself, he also left behind an impressive record of bravery, inventiveness, and an indefatigable drive for exploration. There was more to Tony Beets than just digging for gold. Opportunities, connections, and, most importantly, his self-confidence were the resources he drew from. The moral of his story is that you have to look inside as well as outside yourself occasionally if you want to uncover the treasure. the woman behind the Beets family's success. One of the most important contributors to the prosperity of the Beets family is Minnie Beets, who is the lady who is responsible for Tony Beets' halo. Minnie is the rock that ensures everything works well, from company to family life, while Tony is the one who stands out with decision-making that is daring and powerful plans. Even though Minnie is not actively involved in mining activities or running big machinery, the function that she plays in ensuring the stability and growth of the family is incredibly significant. Not only is Minnie the one who is responsible for managing the family's financial affairs, but she is also the person who is responsible for making significant strategic decisions. As a means of ensuring that everything is proceeding according to plan, she keeps a close eye on every transaction, manages the expenses, and simultaneously designs long-term initiatives. Minnie is the one who prevents things from going awry, the bridge between the stress of work and the tranquility of the family. While Tony is continuously confronted with the rigors of work and is always occupied with large projects, Minnie takes on the role of the one who stops things from going through the ringer. Being able to live in a high-pressure situation where every action has the potential to impact the future of the family and the firm, while simultaneously facing the attention and scrutiny of the entire world through television shows, is something that not everyone is capable of doing. In contrast to Tony, who is frequently portrayed as being forceful and powerful, Minnie is the embodiment of serenity and steadiness. She is not only the one who encourages Tony in his profession, but she is also the one who is always prepared to maintain her composure in the face of the challenges that life presents. Her poise and her capacity to maintain a positive attitude in the face of difficult circumstances are the factors that make a significant difference for the Beets family. The commitment that Minnie had to both her family and the business was not only an essential component in the Beets family's ability to maintain their stability, but it was also a significant source of inspiration for the rest of the family, particularly the children of Minnie and Tony, Kevin, Monica, and Mike, who were raised in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere in which gold mining was not just a career, but also a way of life. Minnie was always the one to preserve balance, ensuring that the Beets family not only survived, but also flourished, despite the great strain that was exerted on them by the gold mining business and the difficulties that they were confronted with. There was a lot of difficulty involved, but because of Minnie's strong leadership, the Beets family was able to not only survive the storm, but also grow. The tenacity and determination that Minnie showed throughout her life served as a source of motivation for her whole family, as well as future generations. Not only does Minnie serve as the financial manager, but she is also the one responsible for laying a strong foundation for the Beets family so that they can address any issues that may arise in the future, continue to uphold the history, and expand the business for many years to come. Kevin, the eldest kid, is shown learning a lot from his dad throughout the show. It is evident of his commitment that he is standing at Tony's side, helping to operate the massive machinery. Yet, dealing with Tony's parents is not going to be a picnic all the time. In the context of a father-son relationship, Tony's reputation for being a bit of a braggart has certainly causes some friction. Still, Kevin keeps showing why he's a vital cog in the team's wheel by refusing to give up. Monica, the only daughter, brings a whole new energy to the mix. She is quite involved in the day-to-day running of the mining firm and has a strong sense of independence. Monica contributes a refreshing mix of daring and innovation to the family business through her eagerness to try new things and question established norms. Furthermore, she is not afraid to speak her mind, even if it means going up against her father. Despite being the youngest son, Mike does not play a particularly significant role in the family company. However, He is also an important contributor to the company. Even though Mike has gone his way from time to time, he has always returned to help his family when they are in need, which has strengthened his bond with them. But there was more at play as the Beets family rose to prominence during the riches rush than just the hope of finding wealth. Along with the fame and fortune that the cameras brought, they also brought new challenges. Keeping up a public persona, running a high-risk business, and making sure family ties didn't fall apart was a huge load that put a lot of strain on the family. On many occasions, the audience witnessed heated arguments between relatives, catastrophic failures of machinery, and cases when foolish decisions resulted in massive losses. But the most incredible thing is that no matter what, the Beets family has always found a way to win, collaborating to conquer obstacles and come out on top. They are more like a family than just a bunch of gold miners. The burden of legacy and the journey to success. To what extent would you be affected by the fact that your father was a reality TV personality when you were growing up in that household? As a result of the fact that you are constantly in the spotlight in your life, you have significant expectations for yourself. It is not only that the children of Tony Beets become famous, but they also take on the burden of carrying on the legacy that their family has developed during their family's history. In addition to the fact that they are required to go through the process of forming their own identities, they also need to cope with the stress of maintaining the image of the golden family. Tony is the father of 3 children: Kevin, Monica, and Mike. All 3 of Tony's children have expressed a desire to mature independently, following their own goals and determining their paths in life from an early age. Being in the position of being the only one who sees them through the lens of their father is not an easy circumstance to be in. Having the opportunity to live in the limelight as a member of the family may bring about a great deal of opportunities, but it also comes with a great deal of restrictions and sacrifices. However, several benefits come along with being a celebrity. The Beets have constructed a solid basis which will enable them to attract attention to the challenging and sometimes misunderstood gold mining industry. This foundation has been established. Not only has their fame helped to contribute to the growth of their firm, but it has also helped them to get acquainted with businesses that provide more profitable opportunities. The Beets can pursue more ambitious projects, improve mining technology, and enjoy a lifestyle that many people can only contemplate because they are financially independent and have earned a global reputation. When everything is said and done, the expense is not an insignificant one. Tony is regularly compelled to spend lengthy periods away from his family as a result of the nature of the work that he does is needed of him. In addition to the fact that there is a physical barrier that separates the head of the family from his wife and children, there is also an emotional impact that is associated with his absence. There is a likelihood that the television program will highlight the appealing aspects of gold mining. Nevertheless, it will not be able to portray the emotional strain that being involved in these sorts of industries brings. Not only were the ups and downs that the Beets family experienced tied to their working life, but they were also connected to the connections that they had with their co-workers. The foundation upon which Tony's success was constructed was an unremitting effort. Yet, there were also a great number of bumps along the road. The entire family had to learn how to adapt to the new circumstances and come up with a unified voice to make progress toward the primary goal. Considering that there were disparities in the management style and the distribution of responsibilities, this was an essential element. Because of the passage of time, the story of the Beets family started to develop into a new chapter. As a result of Tony's gradual move into the role of advisor, his children, Kevin, Monica, and Mike, started taking on the responsibility of providing leadership for the firm. Even though this was not a simple process, it was necessary to maintain and even improve the legacy that their father had built. Now we'll begin with Kevin. Consistently starring in exploitation scenes with Tony, he is arguably the most famous son of the Beets family. Kevin began his career as an apprentice, learning the ropes from his father and Tony as he worked his way up to full-time status. Carrying on his father's work in Tony's footsteps was no easy feat, but Kevin accomplished it admirably. But Kevin's function evolved considerably as time went on. He started to take the initiative and lead Tony instead of merely being his right-hand guy. It wasn't easy to take those measures, though. The immense strain that comes with living in the shadow of one's renowned father becomes much more palpable when one's every action is being monitored intently by the public. It is not simple to make critical judgments with millions of people watching and always criticizing. Kevin must demonstrate his competence on the job while also learning to keep his head above water in the face of the lofty expectations set by his loved ones and neighbors. Also, we can't leave out Monica, an element whose character is opposed to Kevin's. Monica, in contrast to Kevin's stability, is combustible and willing to confront any preconceived notions. Her strong sense of self-reliance and unique viewpoint allow her to tackle any challenge head-on. Monica isn't hesitant to think beyond the box, even if her dad Tony has his procedures and styles. Unless something is very novel, she is not the kind to readily embrace it. This is a strength, since Monica's innovative spirit and new outlook will be invaluable to the family firm as it adapts to the modern world and the next generation takes over. Even in a stable family like the Beets, it may be challenging to keep one's thoughts and actions apart. Even more so when her family had established a solid foundation, Monica found it difficult to satisfy both their expectations and her ambitions. To be sure, this isn't an easy problem for everyone to tackle. Last but not least, there's Mike, who is heavily involved in the exploitation job but seldom makes an appearance on camera. Mike has been quietly instrumental in the growth of the firm for quite some time, even though he isn't the one who gets all the credit. Like Monica, Mike has to deal with the pressures of becoming his father's shadow at work, even if he seldom presents himself in public. Along with his regular duties, he must also contend with the ever-increasing scrutiny of the spectators. Therefore, for Mike to establish himself, he had to do more than just match the standards that were set. His job became increasingly crucial as the mining industry expanded, thanks to the knowledge he gained along the way. But it was not simple to keep one's career and one's personal development on track in such a demanding setting. The future of Mike's growth and contributions to the Beets family hinge on his leadership and inventiveness. The hardships. The process of becoming the next generation of a renowned reality TV family is not always a straightforward and uncomplicated one. Even though popularity may pave the way for enormous chances and provide members of the family with the opportunity to shine, it also comes with its fair share of difficulties. In one sense, the Beets family can broaden their sphere of influence as well as garner attention and chances for their careers, thanks to their renown. On the other hand, it places individuals in a precarious circumstance, an environment in which every choice, error, and achievement is brought into the limelight of the public arena. Every single one of their actions is carefully analyzed. There is no space for error, and millions of people are watching and commenting on every one of their actions. Consider the fact that managing a gold mining business is not only a challenging task, but it also demands concentration, dedication, and the capacity to remain calm under pressure. The challenge of managing machinery, working around the clock in adverse weather conditions, making strategic decisions while continually on the go, and operating a business is not an easy one. And when there is a video team following them and filming every moment, in addition to the additional strain of producing a presentation that is captivating for the public, things get much more problematic. Tony Beets, a veteran miner, is accustomed to the challenges and has the experience to overcome them. However, the following generation is having a difficult time finding their place in such a strong family heritage. Not only do Kevin, Monica, and Mike Beets have to deal with the stressful situation of managing a massive gold mining company, but they also have to do it while living in the shadow of a renowned father in the industry. Taking up Tony's legacy and ensuring that it is preserved is a significant responsibility for them. Not only do they need to understand how their dads operate, but they also need to figure out a way to leave their stamp by making decisions that are pioneering without compromising the identity of the family. Suppose you were Kevin, Monica, or Mike. Think about it. With the eyes of the public monitoring your every action, what would you do if you were confronted with the prospect of leaving behind a significant legacy? What would you do to strike a balance between running the family company and striking out on your own? In addition, as your business expands and gets more well-known, you are coming under increasing amounts of pressure from all directions. When it comes to sustaining family connections, it is not just about the business, but also about the personal interests and desires of the individual, which may conflict with the expectations of the parents and other members of the family. This responsibility is not only placed on Tony's shoulders, but it has also been passed on to his children, who are now responsible for carrying on the company that Tony has built up throughout his whole life. For the Beets family, the responsibility of preserving and growing Tony's legacy is not only a privilege, but also a weight that cannot be denied. Imagine being given the keys to a gold mining empire after learning that it was constructed with your father's sweat, tears, and unrelenting labor. This would be a remarkable experience, especially when the entire world is watching and assessing your every move. It gives you a tremendous amount of responsibility and presents you with a formidable challenge. Tense moments. The Beets family has had its fair share of dramatic on-screen and off-screen experiences throughout the years. Living up to the standards Tony has set for himself professionally is an enormous challenge for his son, Kevin, who suffers from his father's extremely high expectations. Monica, who has a mighty ego, isn't hesitant to question the conventional wisdom of her family and always strives to carve out her niche. While learning from his dad and making his way into the firm, Mike is also trying to figure out where he fits in. From professional concerns to the need to keep the family together, all three are under tremendous strain. Important incidents, like Tony's hefty punishment for running an unauthorized dredge, illustrate the difficulties the Beets family endured and how they struggled to recover. The stress level was already high before things got worse, with the constant threat of personal losses and family strife. The family's resolve was put to the test, and they were able to reflect on their core principles as a result of these trials. Do personal connections take precedence over professional ones? The members of the family had to think about it and come up with good answers to this question. Preserving Tony's legacy will be the Beets family's top priority going forward. They have two major responsibilities: maintaining the family bonds and keeping the gold mining enterprise afloat. Tony's legacy has the dual power to inspire the Beets family to come together and create their future and to weigh them down. It will be difficult to keep everyone on the same page when they all have different ideas for the future of the organization. Nevertheless, Tony may have laid a strong groundwork for his children to follow by drawing on their shared experiences. How well the Beets family, who were formerly successful miners, can navigate the immense pressures of family and business to rediscover the gold in their connections is an intriguing mystery. Will the arguments and problems cause permanent divisions in the family, or will they teach them to persevere? The Beets family will undoubtedly face even more formidable obstacles as a result of the demands of employment, wealth, celebrity, and war. But we can only pray that Tony's legacy will offer them strength and togetherness. Ultimately, we all want the Beets family to succeed, but will they be able to handle everything that comes their way? What do you think about this issue? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next videos.